Welcome to another bonus edition of Upon Further Review. And in this edition, we'll be talking about the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills in this Week 6 matchup, which will be on October 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can catch that on your local Fox affiliates. As these two AFC East rivals are going at it. They're both 3-2 as they'll be facing off for first place in the AFC East. And how did we get here? Well, things started off for the Patriots with a loss on the road to Miami. Then they went to Minnesota and they picked up a win. They then hosted the Raiders and they won that game. But then they went to Kansas City on Monday night in Week 4 and they got blown out as that brought their record to 500. In the following week on Sunday Night Football, they blew out the Bengals, who prior to that were undefeated as they were the last remaining undefeated team left in the NFL as the Cardinals had lost earlier in that day. So the Patriots, that's how they got to 3-2. The Bills, on the other hand, they started off with 2 victories, first on the road in Chicago, then at home against Miami, who had beaten the Patriots a week prior, and then they lost 2 straight as they hosted the Chargers, and they came in there and beat them in Buffalo, and then they went on the road to Houston, and they lost to the Texans before going on the road to Detroit and beating the Lions by a field goal, as that was quite the close game as the Lions kicker missed 3 field goals and then was let go the next day. So that's how the Bills got to 3-2. Of course, last week Kyle Orton made his first start under center for Buffalo as they benched E.J. Manuel and they put Kyle Orton there, and Kyle Orton, nothing spectacular. He did, though, have 308 yards, which is almost half as many yards as E.J. Manuel had in the 4 games prior, as E.J. Manuel has 838 passing yards on the season. Of course, though, Orton had 1 touchdown and 1 interception, so he's going to have to protect the ball better for the Bills, as that was somewhat the troubles with Manuel. Of course, his percentage, completion percentage was pretty low. Manuel's was 58%, whereas Orton had almost 70%. He was 69.8% in that game against Detroit. And Detroit does have one of the top defenses in the NFL. Of course, the Patriots are one of the most solid teams under center with Tom Brady. A lot of people were calling for his, the end of Tom Brady. Some people were actually so foolish as to say they should bring in Garoppolo, which is purely insanity. Of course, that's, the way things are these days, where people aren't patient, and 1 loss has people calling for a Hall of Famer to be benched. But Tom Brady proved all the haters and the doubters wrong as the Patriots came out with their best game of the season against the best team in football, in the Bengals, who hadn't even lost a game prior to that. So, and the Bengals, I'll tell you, they are always a tough matchup for the Patriots. Where, the Patriots lost in Cincinnati, last year. So, definitely a tough matchup and definitely a big win, an impressive win for the Patriots. But let's look inside the numbers and how these two teams match up. And on offense, so far this year, the Patriots are 19th in the NFL in offensive passing yards per game, whereas Buffalo is 21st. So they're very close when it comes to passing yards, as the Patriots have been slow to get their passing game going here in 2014. Of course, on defense, though, the Patriots are number 3 against the pass on defense. So they're one of the top defensive teams when it comes to passing yards allowed, whereas the Bills are 20th in the NFL against the pass. So the clear edge when it comes to the passing game goes to New England. Now let's look at the run. And the Patriots, they had a kind of a revitalization of their running game last week, as Ridley and Vereen combined for over 200 yards, and that moved them up to 14th in the NFL in yards per game on the ground, whereas Buffalo is 20th on the ground. And then we look at defense, though. The Patriots are 17th against the run, and the Bills are number 2. So the Bills are one of the best teams defensively against the run. And so when it comes to the running game, you got to give the Bills the advantage on the ground. Both teams have a pair of backs that they feature. Although the Patriots have had more yards on the ground, even though you would think the Bills would have with, C.J. Spiller and Fred Jackson, but Ridley and Vereen have been getting it done on the ground, not to the point where they're in the top 10, but more so than Buffalo has, where the Patriots are starting to move up in their statistical rankings. But that Buffalo defense, though, has been lights out, as they've been stuffing good runners all year long, and good running teams at that, as Buffalo so far already this year has gone against Matt Forte. They went against Miami when Noshan Moreno was still playing, and they had Lamar Miller, who's more than capable. Also against San Diego. Of course, San Diego struggles to run the ball this year with all the injuries they've had at that position. But then against Houston with Arian Foster. Of course, Detroit hasn't really had much of a running game to speak of. They're one of the worst teams when it comes to run the ball. So, But anyway, Buffalo still is one of the top teams statistically against the run. So the advantage goes to Buffalo on the run. But let's look at points scored. And the Patriots are 12th in the NFL in points scored per game, whereas Buffalo is 28th. So the Bills struggle to put points on the board. And if we look at points against, the Patriots are 12th in points against, and the Bills are 5th. So as much as the Bills struggle to put points on the scoreboard, they do an excellent job of keeping other teams from putting up points against them. So on this, it's kind of close, but I'd have to say you give the edge to the Patriots because they're more balanced when it comes to their offense and defense and scoring, whereas the Bills, they really struggle when it comes to stopping teams from getting in the end zone and getting field goals, whereas on defense, as I said, on defense, they are able to keep teams from scoring, but they struggle to get in the end zone. So I mean to say, so they're struggling to get in the end zone, and that's partly why they went to Kyle Orton over E.J. Manuel. Of course, Kyle Orton isn't necessarily the answer when it comes to, how do we get in the end zone? Oh, I know, Kyle Orton. No one ever said that. He is good at managing a game. And, I mean, he did throw the ball 43 times against Detroit, which is kind of crazy. You would have thought that they might have tried to run the ball a little more against Detroit. They did win the game, and he only made that one turnover, that one pickoff that he had, that one interception. So if he can protect the ball, Buffalo has a chance. Although I definitely see New England winning this game. Historically speaking, the Patriots have owned the Bills over the last decade, and just in the recent future, or the recent past, just over the last 5 games, the Patriots have beaten the Bills 5 games in a row. I believe this will be 6 games in a row. I don't think Buffalo is going to win this one, even though it is in Buffalo. So Buffalo does have a chance, and if you look at the numbers, basically it's going to come down to if they can run the ball and if they can, stop the run, force the Patriots to throw, if they can make some turnovers, maybe score on special teams, that will give Buffalo a chance. They got to keep the ball out of the hands of the Patriots offense. They got to keep the Patriots defense on the field if they want to have any chance to win this game. The Patriots pretty much just got to be the Patriots. And they got to play like they played on Sunday night, not like they played on Monday night. Even if they played like they played for the most part this season, excluding that Monday night game, they should be all right. As long as Patriots, if Brady continues to hit his receivers as he was doing, he's connecting with Wright now. And, him and Gronk seem to be on the same page. And Ridley and Vereen are getting the ball and getting yards any which way they can. They're both good runners. They can continue to run the ball the way they were on Sunday night. Of course, a lot of that's in the trenches, and that's really where they have to have good play. They are missing Logan Mankins in September. Now we're in October. They're 1-0 in October. If they can make it 2-0, that would be a good start to the month. And a good start to the second quarter of the season as we are approaching the halfway point. So I think the Patriots will win. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Very interested to hear your thoughts. This video got up a little bit late. We were having technical difficulties, but we definitely are going to get all of these up. But before the game start, we'll have them up as soon as possible. So make sure to hit the like button if you did enjoy the show to let us know that you did enjoy the show. And subscribe if you want more content of this nature as we put up upon further reviews for every single game, every single week. We also do recaps for every single pro football game each and every single week. We're also covering the baseball playoffs all the way through the World Series, and we do some college football as well. So once again, thank you very much for listening. We greatly appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the show and hope you're enjoying your weekend and all of the sports.